This video is called a power of a power, and the goal is I can raise a power to a power, and I can raise a power to a product. First, let's start with our review exercises. The directions state find the simplified form of each expression. So for number 1, it looks like we need to do a couple of things. So we have y to the 0 power. Remember, anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. So that's equal to 1. And then we also have 1 over z to the negative 2nd power. And we need to take the reciprocal of the power, which will make it z squared. So that's going to end up flipping to the top of the fraction. So now if we write our answer, x to the 5th stays at the top of the fraction. Y to the 0 equaled 1. Then we have 4 in the denominator, and z squared is going to move to the numerator of the fraction. So there is our final answer. Number 2. So I'm multiplying both of these powers. So first I'm going to multiply the numbers in front of the variables. So negative 8 times 7 is a negative 56. And then I'm going to add the exponents because they have the same base. So 3 plus a negative 6 is a negative 3. And since x has a negative exponent, I'm going to rewrite that with a positive exponent. So I'm going to have negative 56 at the top of the fraction. I'm going to take the reciprocal of that power, and then I'm going to have x cubed at the bottom of the fraction. And there is our final answer. Last one is number 3, and here we are adding those two polynomials. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find which monomial has the largest degree, and that's 4x cubed. So I'm going to write, oh, and actually we have a negative 1x cubed, so those two can be combined. So negative 1x cubed plus 4x cubed is 3x cubed. The next monomial with the largest degree is 5x squared. So I'm going to write that second. And then the last term we have is the negative 3x, which I'm going to write last, minus 3x. And there is our answer. Now let's talk about raising a power to a power. In order to raise a power to a power, we're going to multiply the exponents. So here's an example. This is what it looks like, meaning to raise a power to a power, is we have 5 to the 4th power in parentheses, and that's raised to another exponent, which is that 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply those exponents. 4 times 2 is 8, and our answer is going to be 5 to the 8th power. Let's try another example. So here's another example. Here we have 5 cubed raised to the 5th power, and here we're going to multiply the exponents again. So we have m to the 15th power. Now let's talk about raising a product to a power. To raise a product to a power, raise each factor to the power and multiply. So here's an example of this. So we have 3x, which is our product, and it's raised to the power of 4. So think of it like this. We have 3 has an exponent of 1, and x has an exponent of 1. And think of almost like we're distributing that 4 to each of those exponents. So now we're going to have 3 to the 4th power and x to the 4th power. So I did 1 times 4 and I got 3 to the 4th, and then I did 1 times 4 again and got x to the 4th. And then if we simplify that completely, that's going to give us 81 x to the 4th. Let's do one more problem like this. So this one again, I'm thinking of, I added the 1 for the as an exponent for the 5, and think of distributing that 2 to each of those exponents. So we have 5 squared, and then I'm going to multiply the exponents. 3 times 2 is 6, and then x to the 6th power, and then if I simplify that, 5 squared is 25, x to the 6th power. Now let's try some example problems. The directions say find the simplified form of each expression. So for number 1, for this one, I'm going to multiply these two exponents. So 4 times 2 is 8, so I have x to the 8th power. Number 2, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to multiply the exponents, so I have y to the negative 21st power. But in order to simplify that completely, I need a positive exponent. So I'm going to take the reciprocal, which is 1 over y to the 21st power. Number 3, in order to do this one, first I'm going to raise the power to the power, which I just outlined in that blue box, and then we will combine the two bases which have that x variable. So first I'm going to do 6 times a negative 4, which is a negative 24. So I have x to the negative 24th power, and I'm going to include this x squared right here. So I have x squared times x to the negative 24th power. Then they have the same base, so now I'm going to add the exponents. So 2 plus a negative 24 is a negative 22. And now since it has a negative exponent, I'm going to make it positive by taking the reciprocal of the power. So 1 over x to the 22nd power. So here is our answer. For number 4, I'm going to do the same thing. First, I'm going to do the raising the power to a power first. So I'm going to multiply the exponents. So negative 5 times a negative 2 is a positive 10. And then times w to the 6th power. Now, since they have the same base, I'm going to add the exponents. So I have w to the 16th power, and that is our final answer. Now for number 5, we have a lot going on here. First, I'm going to raise the power to the power first. First, I'm going to do what's in the purple. So I'm going to multiply those two exponents. So I have x to the negative 4th power. Now, I'm going to raise the product to the power. So I'm going to add in those exponents of 1 just so that I don't forget about them. And think of distributing that 4 to all those exponents. So now I have 3 to the 4th power, x to the 4th power, so I'm multiplying those exponents, and y to the 20th power. Now I'm going to simplify this completely. First, I'm going to start with this number right here. 3 to the 4th power, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. Now I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Next, I'm going to deal with the x bases. So here I'm going to add the exponents. So negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So I have x to the 0 power, and then I have y to the 20th power. Now we can simplify this a little bit further because anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. So 81 times 1 is just going to be 81 y to the 20th power. And that is your final answer. Now let's try number 6. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to start raising this product to a power first. So I'm going to add my little exponents of 1 everywhere. And I'm going to think of distributing this 3 to all those exponents. So I have 2 to the 3rd power, a to the 3rd power, b to the 3rd power, times, now I'm going to do the second product. I'm going to add my exponent of 1 to the 5. So I have 5 squared. Now I'm going to multiply those exponents. Negative 3 times 2 is a negative 6. And now I'm going to simplify my answer. So 2 to the third power is 8. So I have 8a cubed, b cubed, times 5 squared is 25, a to the negative 6 power. And now I'm going to bring this all together. So first I'm going to do 25 times 8, which is 200. Then I'm going to combine. We have two variables with the same bases, so we have a and a cubed and a to the negative 6 power. So I'm going to add the exponents, so 3 plus a negative 6 is a negative 3, and then we have b cubed. I need to do one more step to get rid of that negative exponent. So the 200 is going to stay where it's at. A to the negative third power, I'm going to take the reciprocal of the power, so a to the third is going to end up on the bottom of the fraction in the denominator. And then b cubed has a positive exponent, so it's going to stay in the numerator. And that is our final answer.